I just wanted to share with you guys what I've been doing to try and get these seizures and my MS, among things, under control. And I had been doing the Walls diet for quite a while, but because I started having more seizures, especially when I had them 2 days in a row and was in a lot of pain and very frustrated and feeling quite desperate to do something. So the one thing I had been looking into for quite a while, even while doing Walls, is the carnivore diet. So I decided it was time to switch to carnivore. First of all, I had to do a lot of fasting because I couldn't eat. I couldn't chew because my tongue was such a mess for those first 2 weeks, and then again for another week. So there was a lot of fasting there. There was a little bit of bone broth and that kind of thing, and water mostly if I could get it into me. And then eventually I moved into doing some blended meat and vegetables and whatever else I could find, and then eventually moved into just meat. So now I've been doing meat only for about 2 months, and unfortunately I cannot do egg or dairy because I do have intolerance to those. So it's just meat for me, meat and salt and water and a little bit, as you know, electrolytes and that kind of thing. I'm certainly working on and trying to make sure that I am still getting things like my vitamin D. I still have to take a few things, vitamin D, K2, that kind of thing. So I'm playing around with what supplements I'm actually taking, and also trying to keep things fairly close to the Lion diet, which is basically ruminants only. I'm trying to make that my main focus, and then I have some weeks where I'm having other things like fish or pork. I'm still doing quite a bit of pork because pork is fabulous, and I never ever in my life had had pork belly before. I'd never made it before. And when I went on to carnivore, my husband was very supportive because he would really like for me to not have these seizures anymore too. So we've been learning a lot, and we started working with pork belly, and wow, is it good. I mean, wow, how did I not know about this stuff? And it's a whole lot more affordable than just going out and buying bacon, and it's better than bacon. So that's been exciting. I've also been learning the joys of tallow. I really, really like tallow. I just buy it at my local butcher, and it's awesome. I whip it, and then it's like this sort of creamy sauce that you add to your food. And obviously the main focus for me, having seizures and trying to keep them under control, is to stay ketogenic all the time, which is a challenge because if you have too much protein in your diet, then your body will convert that to glucose and your ketones will drop, and you can even actually get kicked right out of ketosis. So I have to be careful to make sure that I eat enough, but not so much protein that I have a ketosis problem. So that I have not got figured out yet. I don't think I'm eating enough food. I'm not really losing weight, so that would be evidence of that, because if I'm eating well, I should be losing a bit of weight. Not a huge amount, but some for sure. So that's not happening. But I'm stable, and I'm hoping that along the way, having my body fat adapted, and I am making the ketones every single day. I do check regularly, and it's happening. I don't know my full levels. I haven't gotten that precise because that costs money, and I can only invest in so much to make this happen. And so we're working on it. It's all a work in progress right now. There's a lot for me to learn still. I have been absolutely binge watching all of the influencers, Dr. Chafee and Dr. Barry, and a number of these other people who do these informative videos with things that I don't always agree with, I will say, but I can pick out the stuff that I can recognize is good, solid science, and appreciate that and put it into use. And I am still drinking chamomile tea because it has low oxalates, and I don't want to have to deal with oxalate dumping, because when I look at what I ate on Walls, I ate very high oxalate vegetables. So I was getting a lot of them, which means that I am a prime candidate for major oxalate dumping, and I don't want to deal with that because that can be its own nightmare. So hopefully that's not what I'm dealing with. My health is not massively better at this point after 2 months. I am expecting I'm going to need at least 3 to start really seeing some improvements. And I'm also having to play with what works, with what I can eat, with how I'm responding to things. I did find eating chicken, for instance, I felt like my joints were actually feeling more upset, a little bit cranky, a little bit sore. So I stopped eating chicken and went straight back to mostly beef and lamb. And I got to try tongue for the first time, and actually it's good. I mean, who would have guessed, learned how to cook it, and I found a couple of different things to do with it that it's really quite nice. It's a very tender meat, and it just it tastes like beef. It doesn't have a weird taste or anything. So it's pretty neat. And just yesterday found a good place to buy it for a reasonable rate. So I'm looking forward to doing more of that. And it is full of vitamins and nutrients that we need in our bodies, including B12, which it turns out actually my B12 levels are crazy high right now. And I think that's related to the beef heart that I had also tried recently. And I finished all of that now. I ate little bits of it along the way over the course of several weeks. And it is really high in B12 as well. So when my functional medicine doctor sent me for a whole bunch of blood tests recently, my B12 came back flagged as crazy high, way outside of the range. So that was a surprise, but I'm going to take it as a good thing because I think that means that, yes, I am getting the vitamins I need. I might have already had high B12 because I used to take sublingual B12 anyway. So it might have been too high because you just don't get tested very often for that. So that's possible. And that might be a factor here, but I'm just happy to say it's not low, because with MS, especially with lesions in the C-spine, you want to keep your B12 high. Definitely. It's important. It helps it heal, helps it calm down. And I'm really hoping with my next MRI coming up in a few weeks that it will show some good things, hopefully, Lord willing. In the meantime, I am enjoying eating all the meat, and I don't miss the vegetables. I think there's a few things I kind of miss. Like I used to make myself a healthy hot chocolate at home. Obviously that's not an option anymore. A little bit. I don't do any sweets, no sweets whatsoever in my mouth. And that includes even toothpaste. I'm making my own toothpaste now so that I don't have anything sweet. And just as well to get rid of the fluoride, because that's not good for you either. So I don't mind not having that, but it's been strange. It's kind of the first time in my life that I haven't had sweet things in my mouth every day. I cut out sugar 12 years ago, so that part was easy. I didn't have that same withdrawal problem a lot of people would have if you're cutting out things like sugar and gluten, that if you're used to eating those all the time, there's a pretty serious hangover that comes from that lasts for weeks sometimes. And I did go through that originally. But with this time, I didn't have that because I already was on a lower carb, sugar-free diet and gluten-free. So that part was simpler for me than it would be for some people. And the challenge to not cheat is not there for me because I already don't eat those things because I know what they do to me and I don't want that in my body. So that's easy. I know it's weird for people who are used to being able to eat whatever they want, but I've never been able to just eat whatever I want. I've always had food problems. And weird health things and digestive issues and whatnot. So this is just the next step. I hope I don't have to always be 100% carnivore in the future. I hope that I can maybe add egg yolks to start with eventually, if I can get myself really good and stable. And then eventually I'd like to maybe start adding some berries and, just some other things to diversify, to broaden things a little bit, because there's a lot of good things out there that I don't think vegetables are trying to kill you. I'm sorry, I don't. They're just vegetables. And I already don't want really high carb fruits in my diet because I know what that kind of sugar does to me. And even without carnivore and any of this other stuff, I know that it's not ideal for my health, for my body. So that part's not a problem, but it would be nice to be able to eat a little piece of mango sometime, or, just once, just a one-time thing here and there. But I'm not there yet. And it could be years before I'm at that point where I could even try doing that, because I am in bad shape. My health is in really, really bad shape. These seizures are bad. My brain fog is still really bad. My memory is a mess. And I am under constant stress waiting for the next seizure because we don't know if or when it's coming, what I'll be doing, whether I'm going to hurt myself. I'm trying to protect my tongue, but really, if I don't get the aura or I don't recognize it and I fall down, I could hurt myself that way too. So there's just so many things. Being out in public is scary now because I don't know if I'm going to have a seizure in front of other people. That's terrifying. Nobody needs to see that. It's awful, awful, awful thing. And nobody would know what to do with me either. So my best friend who I spend time with every week, she's pretty aware of it. She's got some nursing background. So, I'm feeling a little more confident with her. And my husband is learning what to do just by trial and error. So if I've got one of them around me, it's okay. But if I was just out by myself, I'm not there yet. I don't know when I'll be able to just do that. That's somewhere down the road. I'm also dramatically affected by the weather. Right now we have a beautiful sunny day and that puts me in a good mood. On the cloudy days, I'm almost kind of a little bit dizzy because I'm just so foggy. Like I just feel the pressure of those clouds And I do feel weird feelings just from childhood dreams, childhood experiences. They're just kind of always there. And it's like, I'm not really here. I sort of always feel like I'm not really here. I'm kind of here, but I'm also in another dimension or something like that. And I'm not able to focus heavily on anything. I can't really get into studying anything very intensely. A deep in-depth conversation, I can miss quite a bit of it because I just can't process it all. And I think I'm still dealing with adrenal issues. Everything's just getting to be overwhelming really, really quickly, which is, kind of new for me in a way. And the mood issues with the weather and everything, that's kind of new for me too, to a degree. When I was a moody teenager, yeah, I could feel that to some degree, but this is next level weird stuff. And I'm not sure if it's because of the seizures or because of the lamotrigine withdrawal, because that can happen. It can do all sorts of horrible things to you. And I am dealing with a number of side effects from that drug still, even though I've been off of it for a couple of months. So there's a lot going on in my system, and hoping that we can get more sorted out, and really hoping and praying that carnivore is a really helpful elimination diet that gets me in the right direction. And from there, we'll be looking at things like parasite cleansing and detoxing and heavy metals and all of those things. And I don't even know what else, lots of things. A lot of things came back flagged in my blood test. So I'll be curious to see what the doctor has to say about that and what she wants to do. I think that she's got her work cut out for her, and she's probably feeling a little overwhelmed. I may be her most difficult patient. It's possible. But I hope that she can come up with some good ideas to help me, that I don't have any bad side effects to anything that she wants to try. And we'll find out soon. Hopefully my next video will be able to give you a bit of a recap of what I'm doing next. And hopefully, Lord willing, I will not have any more seizure videos for you, but I know realistically also that until we get this figured out, I may have more. And particularly if it's hormone related or parasite related, these sorts of things, they might be settling down now. That would be good. But on the other hand, there's just a whole lot of things that can cause them to start flaring just enough to get those seizures to come back. So hopefully we can get that all under control too. Lots and lots and lots of work ahead. And for now, we're starting with carnivore and playing with that and having fun with that. And amazingly, it is actually kind of a little bit cheaper than Walls, because Walls requires buying massive, massive amounts of organic vegetables, all of which cost a fortune here. So yeah, we'll be playing around with the kinds of meat that I'm having, but we're slowly finding the best ways to afford the meat, and it is so far a little bit cheaper. So I'm thankful for that too, and also enjoying learning how to do all sorts of new things with meats that I've never had before. So that's about all I've got for today. Just wanted to let you know that I am on the carnivore bandwagon for now, and I think it's important to know, for seizures and MS, I'm always looking for stories of people who have either or both of those, and what's happening with that for them and what diets are working for them, particularly if they're doing carnivore, because I know Walls can work for some people, Best Bet diet can work for some people, and keto can work for some people, or some combination of those might work for someone. So right now my angle is carnivore, and we'll see how it goes. So thank you for watching, and God bless.